سي محمد أهلا وسهلا سي مصطفى how are you? I'm sorry I went out for just to bring some tissue paper to clean the board with when we use it. Anyway, I hope you are doing well. Thank you for joining. Thank you for always making it on time. Just please make sure that the quality of the sound and the quality of the picture, the image quality, are fairly good and are acceptable. Otherwise, we can start our discussion. It's very ironic. Ahlan Kautar, Ahlan. Miss Kautar Sabiri is a doctoral student, so I wish you all the best. Thank you. Si Saeed, Ahlan wa sahlan. Si Saeed, how are you? I hope you are doing well. Nathalie Leblanc, how are you? Thank you. You rank third. Today, Buknifi, perhaps he was waiting for 10,000 subscribers to be the first to make it to this live. Mustafa Morshid, sorry, you are ranking number 2, my friend. Natalie, number 3. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Kautar. Thank you, everyone. Jalal, hello, Si Jalal. Thank you for joining. Finally, I made it. Yeah, you did. That's an achievement, and this is worth celebrating. Si Muhammad, Si Mustafa Morshid Martmel, he he came later. Si Uthman, how are you? Thank you, Si Saeed, Barakallahu Fik. Thank you for your trust and thank you for deciding to join. Although, sometimes when people watch a video without any reaction, no comment, no like, nothing, no sharing of the link, this results in the algorithm shrinking the scope of viewership, making the channel inactive. So we want it to be shown to more people than the ones that see it these days, okay? Or over the last, have been seeing it over the last 1 year and a half, okay? Thank you. Congratulations, dear professor. Thank you again, Si Saeed. Si Mustafa, no, I was waiting before. Oh, yes, okay. Yeah, there was a little problem that, in fact, I was in a meeting, a coordination meeting, an online coordination meeting before I made it to this live session. This is partly the reason why I requested that you wait for 15 minutes more. Waiting for the friends because I received concordant requests for X-bar theory. Because at some universities, X-bar theory or X-bar syntax is covered in S6 rather than S5, so it's my duty to respond in the affirmative because I am here to cater for the needs of the people who seek help and the help that I can offer. Okay, so since I can offer help in syntax, so I cannot, say no. I hope those friends will be able to join us. That's the point. So because I see that only 10 people are watching, and these 10 people are here. They have commented, and I know them one by one. So, all right. Thank you, Si Jalal. Thank you so much, Jalal. أهلا فايزة. ما مش كده فايزة لاباس. Hello, Professor. I hope you're doing well. Thank you. I'm in a cafe and watching your live stream. So yesterday it was Barcelona and Madrid, and today it's my live stream. Thank you. Thank you so much. Look, this shows how attached you are to this channel and how respectful you are of it. Thank you so much. This respect is, of course, mutual. It's a pleasure to hear things like these. Some people, are on a coach going from one city to another. That was the case of Si Mustafa, and he was watching us on the way, was reacting us en route, okay, to Marrakesh. I remember, to Marrakesh or to another city, I don't remember, but that was the case, okay? Nice. So thank you very much. We are 11 here. I don't know what to do exactly. These, requests put me in a spot because I have people here who did not request this meeting, but the ones who are actually concerned have not shown up here. Well, anyway, if they have not made it, then we can switch this live session, to a general discussion. We'll make of it an exchange. أهلا أستاذ اعتماد شنقوب. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Thank you. سامية معنا ولا ما معناش? I think she said hello. I'm sorry, Samia, if you can hear us. I did not. Let me see if she is here. I think she joined. No, Samia is here. Thank you so much, Samia. بارك الله فيك. اسمحي لي بزاف ما I didn't pay attention to your message. I skipped it, but that was not on purpose, of course. So thank you, everyone. 13 people are here. I don't know how many would be interested in X-bar theory and how many would be interested in things that relate to research or to, I don't know. I am open in the absence of the people who are immediately concerned. We can still, we can still make this session, make use of this session anyway. We have not met for gratuitous reason. Jalal, by the way, I am a master student major at CFL. Jalal, so that's very good achievement since you are a major, and I hope you will enroll in a PhD program as soon as possible. I wish you all the best, Jalal. So TEFL is a very good field, and you may choose to continue your doctoral studies, in it. So that's interesting. Sir Omar, hello, Professor. We are in dire need of a session about syntax. Thank you very much. But where are the people who are in a dire need? Sir Omar, post a message to your friends and tell them that the professor he has lived up to his word. So he is there, he is live, and he's waiting for you to join. Because the 13 people I have here, are the ones who are interacting with me now. So if there is anyone who is here who is interested in syntax, you need to type 1 or 2 or anything. Type something, my friends. You're not going to pay for the typing of something. Why are you hiding? Because I can see 13 people, and the 13 people are the ones that talk to me, including أستاذة زينب هي معنا هنايا. Good evening, أستاذة زينب. Thank you so much for joining us, for making it. Okay, so Natalie, Mohammed Bouknifi, Faiza, you did not ask me for this. So I think it's just because you do that out of your kindness and out of your respect to my person, and this is very mutual. Thank you very much. But there are people who are who ask me because they have an exam. I don't know. We can switch. Thank you, Kautar. Thank you so much. Anyway. I just joined Light FF. Thank you for joining us. You always join anyway, whether you are on time or not. That's not a problem. Thank you. But it was thanks to you that this channel has reached the 10,000 subscribers. But again, 10,000 subscribers without enough interaction will make meaningless those 10,000 subscribers. Because it's not enough to subscribe to have the video, displayed on your screen. No, you have to like it. When the algorithm has it that when you like a video twice or 3 times or in one channel, every time there is a video that is uploaded, you are notified. Or when you open your YouTube application, the video shows up there. Thank you, Kautar. Thank you, Light FF. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Si Mohammed, Natalie, Faiza, and everyone who is showing interest here. I don't know what to do. I need at least 3 or 4 comments. Syntax or TEFL or okay. So let's focus on research, please, since we have MA PhD students. Yes, I think this is what we can do. And this will be تنمية السيرة man. This will be a lesson for them. الله يخليكم اللي صفت لي شي حاجة شي request. أنا درت thumbnail and I posted and I even told people that I will be on a live session, only to find out that people I don't know, they are not with us here. اسمحوا لي. So it's either I received other requests. I could have given priority to other requests. Okay. Nice. So if there is anything that you would like to initiate here, please initiate it. Let me just check with the student who sent me this, just so that she will not be put off. I'm so sorry. I will have to tell her that maybe our live session will start tomorrow on syntax, and I will change the title and the thumbnail, and I will postpone the thing until tomorrow. Okay? It doesn't make any sense not to have the people who ask for it. I know, because they asked for the live and they are waiting for the video to be posted so that they can see it later on. No, nobody is here. Anyway, ماشي مشكل. If there is any prompt, any question, then you can ask it so that we can spend some time talking about it, inshallah. And then, when we are tired, we can just switch off. That's all. Thank you. Yeah. Abdel B. Ben Abu. Thank you. See Abdel B. Thank you. See Mohammed Buknifi. Yes, dear professor. Let everyone be responsible and learn their lesson. Yeah. That's true. That's true. We can make this session for research. That's exactly, that was just a favor I wanted to do. Let them hire people to pay for them, and so this is for free. Hajali for free, Dima. It's just that it's taken for granted like that. Okay, nice. Si Mohammed Zrak, good evening. Let's see Mohammed. Ahlan wa sahlan. How are you? This adlib, yeah. Good evening, Professor. Thanks for this ad. Yeah, it is an adlib session. Anyway, the adlib part will be the one that we will be discussing. And the one that is not AdLib was the one that I planned to, was the theme I planned to discuss. But it turns out that the relevant audience is not here, so does not make any sense to talk about things that where the targeted audience is absent. So that does not make sense. Okay, could you please talk about the Natalie, we talked about discussion chapter, but let me just say something. Thank you, Jalen. Thank you so much. Now, for the discussion chapter, I think we talked about that, Natalie, but let me just summarize the whole point in a couple of elements. In a discussion chapter, number one, you always need to refer to what came before. You need to refer to the presentation chapter, to the results chapter. You need to establish this coherence. Not only should you do that for the discussion chapter, but you should do that for other chapters as well. So in a thesis, in the absence of these connecting thread, and somebody say that after professors there, of course, but that's a very good way of expressing the idea. So you really need to have this connecting thread all through your research. You see, so it doesn't make any sense to have a chapter that is isolated from the other chapters. It does not make sense, as I said. So that's one thing. The other thing is in discussion chapter is that we first need to distinguish, because distinguish between what and what, between the results part, what to say in the results and what to say in the discussion. Some people rush into reading out their results and jumping into the conclusion that their hypothesis is retained, or the null hypothesis is rejected or retained, and so forth. If you do it this way, you will not have enough room to discuss, because you will be redundant anyway. See, so one thing you can do is to take into consideration the fact that the results part, be it a chapter or a section, as long as you call it results, then what your job is to read out those results. It's like reading out to someone you think does not know, what this is about. Think of your reader as being just someone who is competent in English or at English. He's good at English. So what you do is transform those symbols, those charts, those graphs into words. This is what you need to do. You may go one step further in interpretation. Interpretation means that you compare, you say this is higher than this is bigger than this, and it turns out that lower level students in fact show a lower performance in this and that, or gender differences. Anyway, you need to do this further step of interpreting, and the chapter is usually, in this case, if you do it this way, it's ideally referred to as a results and interpretation chapter. Okay, now the discussion is something different. In the discussion, of course, you need an introduction to your discussion chapter. You need a recapitulation of your hypotheses, probably your objectives, your research questions. Verbatim, it means the way they were written before. So you copy them and paste them there without any problems. And then you make reference to what? You make reference to previous literature. Compare the current results with the review of the literature, the relevant literature. Ideally, you need to refer to what you wrote in the method in the review of the literature chapter. So you say the results, are coherent with this or that theory, or this or that, or so and so explanation, etc. And then you can elaborate on that in the form of a couple of paragraphs or so. And then you need to explain your results. Try to provide further evidence for your results. Try to explain why you got the results that you got. Maybe you can point to factors that you have not considered, factors that can come at play, in such research, in such an endeavor, and you may also talk about the specificities of your sample, of your of your context, the context, because usually what you have is a piece of research that is conducted in country X. When you try to when you come to apply that to a local context, to a Moroccan context, then things are likely to change because there are a number of intervening variables. Okay, and then of course, needless to remind you of the fact that the discussion chapter can be very elastic, and this is something I noticed over over the years, in fact, but it was specifically something I noticed when I was working on my doctoral thesis. So every now and then I open the chapter and consider the possibility of splitting one paragraph into two. So when you read a paragraph, you will think that there is a possibility of coming to the middle of the paragraph and hitting the enter button, so that you will have a topic sentence in the first half and transform the first sentence of the second half of the paragraph into a topic sentence, and then with some elaboration in the first paragraph and some elaboration in the last paragraph, in the second paragraph, you will obtain two paragraphs that will give you enough space and enough so that will result in more words, in more prose, in discussion of, and of course it will be even more reader friendly, because cramming the information in one single section may not be reader friendly. So please try this technique. It's going to work, certainly. Always find a way of, even the new paragraph that results from the splitting, after you elaborate on it, you might consider the idea of splitting it into further into two other paragraphs, and so on and so forth. Okay, I hope I have not missed any detail in this regard. Yeah, this video, there is a video of this. Yeah, Si Muhammad. Yeah, I think it was Natalie who initiated this, who talked to me about the discussion chapter, and then this is why I decided to have a I don't know, it was a live session. Yeah, there was a live session, it was not a video. Okay. عثمان اخويا، راه ما كاينينش الناس ديالكم اللي يطلبوني. واش جوج د الناس، ثلاثه د الناس صاحبي. You asked me to come. I made effort to come here to find that there are two people. I cannot. I'm sorry. I cannot answer. Just have a live session for 2 or 3 people. I'm so sorry. Next time you ask your friends, and I'm ready to come live tomorrow, just for you, for this. But please ask them to be disciplined enough. If they want it, I am here. I can do it. But coming, just for 2 people, no. I'm sorry. I have people here, doctoral students هنايا، وكاين اللي ناقش ديجا الدكتوراه ديالو، وكاين اللي هنا. It's out of respect to them. I cannot come to talk about X bar theory for 3 or 4 people. كاع 3 4 يكونوا 10 كاع. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but there was a confirmation with the student who contacted me, and she sent the link, and I saw the screenshots, and I saw the replies, and saw everything. Everyone was excited about this, you see. But now, no, I don't know. So I cannot, maybe for tomorrow. شتين الله يخليكم اللي كاين هنا. ما بغيتش نقول السميه ديال الجامعه، ولكن الاخوان اللي كانوا طلبوا لي باش طلبوني باش نجي ندير اون سيونس على سينتاكس، انا موجود بالحق، ماشي بهذه الطريقه. جو سوي فريمون ديزولي، احتراما لهاد الاخوان اللي عندي هنايا كيدخلوا عندي، هما ما محتاجينش اصلا هاد الشيء، عندهم عارفينه. هذا الشيء اللي كنقولوا حنايا، لا اكسبار، لا ميثودولوجي. هما غير كيجيو مساكين حيت they respect my person and they respect me, which is mutual of course. وبالحق باش يجيوني غير بعض الناس يطلبوا هذا القسم ما عرفت شحال فيه، يجيو لي غير بعض الناس هنايا ونقطع باش نجاوب على السينتاكس، وعندي اسئله على الميثودولوجي. جو سو فريمون ديزولي. وصلوا هذا الميساج للاخوان اللي كورديناو هذا الشيء قبل، الله يخليكم. يا تجيو كاملين، ماشي كبون كاملين، نو يا يجي واحد عدد اللي يطلبوا هذا الشيء يجيو مرحبا. ولكن باش يطلبوا 30 ولا 20 ويجيوني غير 3، اسمحوا لي، I cannot do that. I'm really sorry to say this loudly and frankly. Okay. Zikri Najla, hello. Jalal, since you are talking over the research methodology, I have a question. I am required to write a report, and a part of it should include a minute research. Namasi Jalal. Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. Do you have a question in this regard? Si Jalal, if you have a question, you are more than welcome. We can discuss that. Thank you, Si Said, for confirming this. Thank you. Kautar, dear Professor, Kautar says, do you think that reliability and validity tables should be reported on the findings section of the article? No, Kautar, no. For validity and reliability, the best place for including them is not in the findings section. They are best reported هما حتى ذاك الكرومباخ عارفه, which is a reliability measure, of course. You see, it's when you describe your questionnaire or your instrument. Let's not call it questionnaire. It's, it can be questionnaire, it could be something else. But when you have an instrument and you want to describe it in your methodology section, then you have to talk about it, and you have to talk about the items. You describe the items, say how many items, what type of items you have, and for what reason you are using them. But aside from that, you need to say that these you see instruments have been submitted to tests of validity and reliability. And if it's something like Cronbach alpha, for example, you need to mention that in the methodology, not in the findings counter. Okay. The same goes for, because I see that there are students, unfortunately, who would report the results of the pilot study in the results section. No, my friends, that's not the place for the pilot study. Why? Because the pilot study serves the purposes of refining your instruments and of refining your methodology. So as a way of marketing your research, your study, one way of doing this is to, to come up with a version of a questionnaire, and in order to make sure that it has this validity, it has validity, content validity, face validity, whatever validity there, and it's reliable, you need to pilot it, and you need to submit the items to a reliability tests and report that where? In the methodology chapter, not in the results chapter, please. Okay. And not only should you do that, but you should also write a little section on the feedback you got from this piloting, because piloting is undertaken for a reason. And the reason is to refine, is to make sure, first to make sure that the results are, that the instruments are worth, administering, and that you are on the right track. So all in all, Kautar, in answer to this very important question of yours, the best place is methodology and not the results discussion or the findings discussion. Thank you. Si Jalal, how can I spot a research gap on which I will be able to conduct my research project? Mr. Jalal, you are asking a very important question as well. And the fact that you're talking about a research gap, because you cannot kick off, or a piece of research cannot kick off, if the researcher has not been able to identify a research gap. Now, the research gap is generally, because you do preliminary readings before, of course, you cannot come and, although I made the point on several occasions that the first worry for a researcher, the first concern for a researcher is the formulation of objectives, and that's true, but we do not do that from scratch. Of course, there is this, there are some readings that are presupposed. You need to read some literature before, some studies on the topic before, and based on those studies, you can formulate research gap. The best one technique to find about the research gap is to go to the last part of those works that you have consulted. For example, it's commonsensical for a piece of research to talk about limitations. So you just go to the table of contents and locate the limitations part, go to this relevant page and read about the limitations. That can be a good starting point for you, because by overcoming the limitations of previous studies, you have found a research gap that you need to formulate in the form of a section. So that will certainly give you a number of objectives that will inspire you to formulate your research questions, and therefore, an ipso facto, let me use the word, an ipso facto, your hypotheses. Thank you, Zijalal. I hope I've answered your question, my friend. Thank you. Okay, Kautar says thank you so much. You are welcome. If there is any prompt for a discussion, I can do that. I repeat this call for X-bar friends, the ones who requested X-bar theory. I will go live tomorrow. Again, I will go live tomorrow, but with the promise that you will join, because the people I see here, the 20, we have 30 people. I know most of them here. Where are the others? Okay. So, if there is anyone who has heard me talk about these things, they need to tell those students that you need to be punctual if you would like me to have this for you. And by the way, I do this with great pleasure. I told the student before that I am able to have up to 10 sessions just for you to revise with, to accompany you, through the syntax course, but not in this way. No. I cannot, out of respect to the people who are here, who know these things already, and yet they join us. All right, anyway, thank you so much, Jalal. Jalal says thanks a bunch. Thank you. Well, please do that, Hosni. Tell them that if they are not attending, that's fine. If they understand, احنا بغيناهم غير يفهموا. إلا كانوا فهموا داك الشيء on their own, that's fine. Because anyway, sometimes you can have access it's just because I was asked. I was asked on many occasions, in fact. So let me know, please, in a message to the Facebook page, Your Academic Companion, Dr. Amrose, whether we will confirm anyway. I'll check with the student and we will see. Yalla. Thank you, Saudman. Marhaba. Thank you. Anyway, if there is more to say about these things, if there is a question that we can discuss in relation to research, I see that 31 students, I don't know, not students, friends in a way, they are listening to us, are following this live session. If there is anything that you would like me to discuss, that's fine. If you think that we can call it a day, then that's also fine. But nice people that we have here. We have Natalie, we have Si Mohamed Bouknifis, Si Mourshid, see Kautar. You have a lot. You have Faiza. You have friends here. Zineb. We have a lot of good friends that are faithful, to this channel. So it's a good idea. Yes, it's a good idea. For example, to continue talking about them. Find the truth. Yeah. You can ask a question. When people start with these prerequisites, may I ask a question? God knows what they will write. Okay. Yes, please find the truth. Just ask any question. Feel free. Yes, we will plan that. We will plan that. The only condition is that those who request sessions on subject X, they have to make it to the live session. You see, I cannot have people who are doctors listening to me because هادو لا ماجوريتي ديال الناس اللي عندنا راه كاين اللي عنده الدكتوراه، كاين اللي غادي يناقش تري بروشينمون، كاين اللي عنده ماستر. دونك الا غتقولوا لي بغينا ان سيونس في لا semantics for S6, you have to come. That's all. That's the only thing I'm requesting. You see, I don't count in terms of how many people I have here. That's not the concern. My concern is to talk to the audience who need this, not to the audience who already know this. Okay, nice. So marhaba, find the truth. Yeah, we can have sessions on semantics and pragmatics, or I will have videos, recorded videos. Yeah, but with the live, if it's live, then you can ask questions and I can answer them without any problem. Okay. Thank you. Si Mustafa, they are coming to Kenitra soon. Okay, that's interesting. So I wish you all the best, Si Mustafa, whose defense is drawing very near. I wish them all the best. Thank you. Si Abd Nabi bin Abu, marhaba Si Abd Nabi. Thank you for making it. Thank you for joining us. Really kind of you. I don't know what to talk now. We are left in somehow in a void. 30 minutes have already elapsed, but I think we have answered a couple of questions. So I think that the objectives have been, met in this regard. Yes. Abdel B, very grateful. Thank you, Asi Abdel B. El Hasnawi Umayma, can you please explain semantics and pragmatics? That's true. So we can plan that. هجرج ديال سميتو هجرج ديال request على semantics and pragmatics. Umayma El Hasnawi, yes, I will. Contingent upon you making it to the live session. اليوم راه كان عندي syntax مع الإخوان اللي طلبوا لي, but I cannot do that, because they have not shown up. The importance of collegial support, especially the support that you have been showing to your friends, Mustafa. I know that you have this generosity and kindness of talking to people and helping them and advising them. This is nice. And you and Si Mohammed Boysan, I remember you were not only colleagues in doctor program, but you were also close friends. This is interesting. Yes, there is no better thing than to have people who when you are in a group at the doctoral level, it's not just this mutual help, but at least when you suffer, there is someone who's suffering with you, there. So you have the same concerns, the same worries, the same disappointments. Sometimes, let's face the fact, this is life, there are disappointments. And when one is disappointed, the other is not. You can cover, each other's worries by advice and by, you see that it helps a lot. But when you are working in one corner and someone else is working in another corner, you don't know about him or her. You don't know even what his or her topic is, and worst of all is the fact that you do not even tell him or invite him or her to your defense. This is really where this is not something that will contribute to the success of anyone, صراحة. But in Kinitra recently, I saw that I noticed that there are more people attending their colleagues' doctoral defense, which is a very nice thing. You see, it's really good. Okay. So Natalie, okay. Yeah, they are wishing you. Kautar is congratulating you ahead of time. Okay, thank you. How much does it take to write a research? Si Abdelatif, you are asking a good question as well. But can I ask you back, Mr. Abdelatif, which research are you talking about? BA, MA, or doctorate? Doctorate, you have between 5 years and maybe 3 years to 5 years. I think, although I am of the opinion that a piece of research that can be written and can be produced in 5 years can be produced in 3 years if you know how to do it. Okay, so let me know, please. Let me know, Mr. Abdelatif. Let me know whether you're talking about article, thesis at the doctorate or master's or BA at the licence level. That way I can answer more accurately. Ahlan Hanan, ahlan wa sahlan. Hanan, assalamu alaikum, she says. Thank you so much. Si Mohammed Al-Zarq, could you please suggest some tips on how the literature review of a thesis could be published as, for example, a scoping review? Okay. So are you talking about the publication of your review of literature? That's interesting. Yes. You need to find the title which is publishable. You need to focus on a specific theme, and then you make of it a title, and this title should better show certain variables. Okay, the review, for example, on social class and place of articulation X. I don't know. That's a spontaneous example from a hypothetical thesis in micro sociolinguistics. So you can do that. What is important is that your title has to be it has to be attractive enough, and it has to show, the variables that you will be discussing in your article. But of course, you know the question is, can a review of literature find a way to publication? Yes, it can. From your thesis? Yes, from your thesis without any problem. But I think if you have ideas, you are able to change the wording, and you change, you add some ideas, because, just to meet the requirements of the article that you are writing. Yeah, you can do that. That's something that is feasible. Okay, some tips if you have a chapter that is ready, then no, I don't think, but sometimes, I know people who published more than one article from the literature review. Okay, so you can do that without any problems, but you can write a footnote, saying that this is part of please do that. This is part of an ongoing doctoral study under the title of, and then you continue. You can do that, or you may mention that in the introduction or somewhere. Anyway, it needs to be understood that this is part of an ongoing piece of research. I saw many successful people, who did that this way. All right. So, Hosni will be waiting for you tomorrow, inshallah. But Hosni, if only you could tell your friends to join, not to wait until the video is published, because that's not encouraging. Sarah, it's not encouraging to talk to two people, who want syntax, and 30 people who want research methodology. It doesn't make sense. Okay. Ruqiyya Wahidi. Hi, Professor. I have a question concerning translation. How can we translate this title into Arabic? The Book of the Grotesque. I have no clue, honestly. Grotesque can be described as العظمة الفخامة الفخم شي حاجة اللي grotesque, but I cannot really find a way. If one of our friends here could help, I would be very grateful. Okay, thank you so much. So Ruqiyya, apologies, but this is a call for our friends here who are more into translation. كتاب ماذا grotesque is la grande, c'est quelque chose de grotesque, العظمة أو الفخامة or whatever. That's how I would say, but I don't know whether I could have a more accurate translation of this. Thank you. Sir Othman, please, could you please say something about how we present data when using qualitative research design? Yes. For qualitative research designs, there are data that are shown as patterns. Generally, they are shown as patterns. Patterns of what? It's either semantic fields if you are doing discourse or stylistic analysis, or you can generate themes that will appear as sections and subsections. So this is different from quantitative results. So I'm talking here about the results part, because you are saying represent data when using qualitative research. Now, for qualitative research, apart from representing the results, because that's what I thought that you asked about, but Sir Othman, for the methodology, it's the same. It's the same. You need a methodology chapter, but if you are conducting theoretical research, you may not need methodology. I'm alluding here specifically to studies on the linguistics of a given language, of Moroccan Arabic, or especially when you are a native speaker. And I have been saying this time and again, you may not need a methodology chapter for this. All that you need to do is write a small section at the level of the introduction saying that the data comes from my own intuition as a native speaker. That's all. But if you are conducting qualitative research, then what you probably need to do is, read some textbooks about qualitative data analysis or data analysis and quantitative designs. But the methodology chapter is roughly the same, because there you need to determine your objectives or hypotheses, and you need to describe your data, how you collected it, from whom you collected the data, you describe your data collection instruments, you describe the people who provided you with data, and so on and so forth. For example, if it's an interview, you have to describe the people from whom, with whom the interview will be held, and the type of questions you ask in the interview. That's methodology. And when you get the results, then you don't present them as numbers, of course, because that's qualitative. And this will depend on the type of design that you adopt. If it's content analysis, means that you have documents or you have responses that are generated in the form of words, then you can look for patterns. You see patterns and themes that will be later on in your results and discussion part. It will take the form of what, of sections and subsection, each section corresponding to a theme. Okay, nice. Fine. الحسناوي Umayma, sir, please, I have a question. How can I translate? Okay, so I think I read Arabic inside Sudan's forever war. Well, داخل الحرب الأبدية إلى آخره. Forever war أبدية. But anyway, I'm not really comfortable because I'm afraid I would say something that is not accurate. So it's easy to answer you like that, but whether this, I always check. For translation, I always have to check because traduire, c'est trahir. You always need to check, and I'm not a specialist in translation. I know, some Arabic, I know some English, but I cannot really claim that I am translator, and therefore, I apologize if I do not translate these things, on the spot. Okay. Jalal Zbirat, I apologize, have to leave now. Okay, si Jalal, thank you for joining us. Jalal, I wish you all the best. وقيل عندي أشرف مخلف here who had something to ask. Ashraf, good evening, sir. Thank you for holding these informative live sessions. I have a question concerning AI. What are some of its affordances and how can it be exploited in ALT? This is a very broad question, yet relevant, timely, up to date, and you see, it's the question of the year, probably, because of the decade, I would say. But a one block, a monolithic answer to this question may not be possible because it has ramifications. It has there are a lot of issues that are intertwined. That one can use. What are some of its affordances? How can it be exploited in ALT? The how here is, will the answer to this question needs a lot of work. But AI, look at this. I would like to say this thing about the AI. Whether we like it or not, and no matter how conservative we want to be, pedagogically speaking, we cannot, we cannot shun the use of AI. We cannot eschew the use of AI. AI is part and parcel of what we should be doing. It's an integral part of what we should be doing. And a 21st century professor, teacher, without enough knowledge, I say, not the minimal knowledge, no, much minimal knowledge, enough knowledge, enough AI knowledge, is downright an old-fashioned teacher, and he may not survive, professionally. He or she may not survive in the field, and therefore, AI is a necessity. Some of our friends here may have noticed that I criticize some of the research questions that are asked in research on AI because they are touching what I believe are only peripheral issues, non-issues, issues that can be answered without research. That's the admonition I have to these friends and these people who embark on a doctoral study just to hypothesize that all teachers may not be willing to, be involved in AI. No, it's not the topic itself, but rather the way we go about it. You see, so this is a very interesting issue. It's a keyword now. AI is a keyword in pedagogical circles. There is hardly any conference where the AI, the term AI, the word, the acronym AI will not be found. Just browse through the conferences that have been held and that are scheduled for the remainder of the year, and you will see that many of them have this AI component. Is this accidental? No, it's not. It's because there is this realization that that AI is a necessity. It's not just a luxury, but it's necessary because it's a survival thing, All right. But my take on this is that people do not delve into real issues in AI research. Let me give you an example so that you will not think that I'm just blaming. Now, how many people, for example, do you know are investigating a specific platform, evaluating this platform, or suggesting modifications to a platform? You see, or engineering, not engineering the technical sense, but you see, thinking up of a possible use of platform X, or choosing this over that for some reasons, and so on and so forth, or conducting experiments, okay, on AI platforms. One will be one in the control group, and the other as an experimental group. You see, this is the thing. This is the thing. So that's the point. The point is that this is worth investigating, and it's the topic of the century, at least the decade, at least this decade, because before, look at this. Before it was computer-assisted language learning, and so that's up to 2010, and then ICT took over as a key term, and in the post-COVID era, we have the AI tools, from 2022 up till now. God knows what will, show up in the future. But this proves one thing. It proves that technology is inescapable. Technology is unavoidable. Fine. Nice. Yeah, it can be exploited in ELT if the conditions are met. Of course, there are certain prerequisites that need to be met. But it's becoming more and more, of an urge. It's no longer a luxury. A long time ago, yes, but now no. You see? All right. Thank you, Ashraf, for bringing up this issue. If you have a specific question relating to this, I will be very happy to react to that. Samia, could you please outline the essential components to include in a thesis defense presentation that can be considered as golden threads guiding overall structure? Thank you, dear professor. Thank you, Samia. Thank you, Ustad Samia. For a thesis defense, there are certain points that are reassuring. These are not asma Murshid. These are reassuring. Why? The assumption first, there is this assumption that even if the jury members have read your work, some of them may not know as much as you do about your topic. What does this mean? This means that there will be questions from them, that's for sure, but there is a very high likelihood for you to answer all those questions. Why? It's because you master your topic and you know what you did, and everything is here. So you will not fall short of answers. That's point one. So that's reassuring. Okay. Now, some reactions from the members of the jury will be mere reactions. Some of them, of course, I'm not saying that you don't take them into account. No, you have to take them. But some of them are just other opinions. There is this, but there is also this. You see? And that you can negotiate it, you can react to defend. That's why we call it thesis defense. You have to define the approach that you have taken, for example. But sometimes we find that there are some titles that are defective, some titles that need to be rewritten. We suggest here, that's a suggestion, because we give reasons why this is not a good title. Okay. Now, for the thesis defense, now I have talked to you about some of the reassuring points. The thing is that for the tips, then one of the first tips is a little before your defense, a few days before your defense, preferably a couple of weeks before your defense, you need to be involved into a rehearsing activity, rehearsals. Rehearse. Time yourself, maybe a 30, 35 minute period, but it would be better if you could, set your clock at, to ask it to stop at after 30 minutes have elapsed. You see, so when you rehearse, that's some sort of feedback that you have towards what you did. Towards it's a feedback on your presentation. It's a feedback because especially when you record yourself, either video record or just record of your voice, and then you play it again. And of course, most likely on the first occasion, you will spend more 30 minutes will elapse while you have covered just half of the presentation. You see, so when you stop anyway, you don't finish, or even if you finish, you listen, you play back the recording and jot down where you should not have dwelt. It means the things that you need to mention only in passing, and the things that you need to elaborate on. What happens in a thesis defense generally is that students are so ambitious, so excited to talk about their work when they are given the floor, and then they end up dwelling on peripheral issues rather than the core of research. For example, there are people, I don't see any point in spending 20 minutes talking about your review of the literature. Are you lecturing? No, you are not lecturing. Are you telling them things that they don't know? No, you're not telling them things that they don't know. Why? Because they have read that in your thesis. And you don't know the torture that you are causing people when you are dwelling on the review all the time without moving to the methodology. So a good presentation is one that sets the scene. Technology, if it's about technology is of paramount importance, that in 20 seconds, and then you move on to your objectives, to the reasons why you have had these objectives, and you move to research questions, to your hypotheses, and to the main points that constitute your review of literature. For example, if there are theories, then you can point to so and so initiated this theory, and so and so countered these opinions by saying this and this. Anyway, you contrast, but very briefly, 2, 3, 4 minutes. That's the maximum. And the lion's share of your presentation should go to methodology and your results. And if you have a presentation in 15 minutes, a 15-minute presentation where you mention all the elements, that's so much the better. That's interesting. Why should we believe that that content will be praised by people? More content, I mean, if you spend, it's not the case that when you present in 40 minutes, you are better than someone who presents in 15 minutes. No, it's not about this. It's how you do it, not what you tell them. Because, on many occasions, sometimes the presentation turns out to be a torturing session for the people who are listening to you. Don't make people bored. Don't be boring, in other words. So that's the tip. Okay. Now, concerning the voice, the voice, you need to raise your voice so that you will have this self-confidence, and this will help you eradicate any signs of panic during the presentation. And of course, another way of helping yourself with this is to keep eye contact, to maintain eye contact with the audience as you present. Not the audience, with the jury members as you present. From time to time, you can look at the audience like that. No problem with that. But don't look just at your supervisor only, for example, or you don't look at the one nearest to you. No, you have to tell them just like that, about what you did, about your achievement. It's more of a celebration session than anything else. Of course, if the things have been done the right way. Okay. شفتي اللي خدم داك لاطيز على حقه وطريقه ما عنده ما يخاف، ما عنده حتى شي حاجه يخاف منها كاع. Everything will be very smooth and the questions will be answered. That's guaranteed. Okay, good. Okay, Samia, I have if there is something I missed, let me know, please. Kautar, how different is an empirical paper from a systematic review and meta-analysis? An empirical paper is a paper where you have data that you work on so that you can generate results and analyses. And, a systematic review is a review that, where you organize, your the studies that you are reviewing in a chronological way or in a thematic way or in another, you need to impose a structure on that systematic review. Meta-analysis, the word meta, it means the analysis of the analysis. It's when there is someone who has provided an argument following an analysis and you come to critique that analysis, then that's a meta-analysis. That's my understanding of these things. I'm afraid I have not dwelt enough on the meta-analysis, part, but this is the basic answer to this very important question from you, Kautar. Thank you. Okay, greetings, Sarah Bouma. Thank you. Thank you, Said. Oh, I've lost the thread here. ما عارفين احنا يا جماعة. عثمان Muhammad Buknifi depends on the strategy. Okay. Kautar. Okay, that's Kautar. Light FF, dear professor, what's the difference between a regular research, PA, and action research? Yeah, action research, we don't have something called regular research, but we have action research. Action research, sorry. In the field of education, for example, action research is generally not conducted by a researcher who is, working on his doctorate thesis or master's thesis, but rather by a teacher who wants to find out about his or her students. For example, there is a problem among students. Students, for example, refuse to read. Whatever paragraph he gives them, no matter how small it is, the students know. But when they are asked to write, they write. When they are asked to, answer grammar questions and vocabulary questions, they do that. But reading, no. For example, this is just a spontaneous example. So what the teacher should do in this regard, if he is well trained or she is well trained, of course, and sometimes it's under the supervision of the inspector, mufti. You see, so he or she can, have, ask his or her students to fill in a questionnaire, and through that questionnaire, he can conclude that there is this and that reason why our students refuse reading or resist reading or don't want to read, and consequently, the teacher can suggest ways of, based on the findings of this action research, they can think of renewing or rethinking their pedagogies for teaching reading or for introducing reading. So this is action research. Action research is generally done for practical purposes, for immediate purposes, to solve an immediate problem. Usually it's done by the teacher if we are taking the context of education. Okay. So here, C. Buknifi is responding to our friend who asked about the translation. And then Uthman, yes, I'm working on Timdiazine, a semantico-pragmatic analysis. That's interesting. Yeah, Timdiazine is a very nice area where you can work on, especially if you take this approach of semantico-pragmatic. That's interesting. I wish you all the best. Sir Uthman, when you are done, please, I need to have a look at this, at your research, just to see how you did it and what you found out. And I think you worked on Tashlihit, I guess. You are working on Tashlihit. That's what your name suggests. And the way Timdiazine, it's either Atlas or Tamazit or Tashlihit, but it's good anyway. What you are doing is good. Thank you. Good evening. If Abdurrahim, good evening. Can you please share with us some own experience to improve our speaking and writing skills? Interesting. Yeah. Light FF, for the writing skill, a writing skill without feedback is a failure. I repeat. شوفوا معي الله يخليكم. Whether you are teachers or students or about to be teachers, wherever there is this combination of writing and success, there is this feedback that brings them together. So the only way you will succeed in writing feedback. What is feedback? The reaction of someone else. So one thing you can do, and some students do it, is to write very short paragraphs and take them to your professor and ask him to spend 2 or 3 minutes just to look at it and give you the feedback on the spot. That way, you will see whether you are improving or not. Another thing is to check with your classmates. You can choose two or three. You can be groups of two or three, and then you can exchange your paragraphs. I believe it's good to start with paragraphs because paragraphs will involve intensive and close evaluation. Then maybe writing long paragraphs or essays. People, your friends are more likely, to read the paragraph closely, sentence by sentence, word for word. They can point to punctuation. You can agree on these criteria before. So you exchange and you will see miracles later on. After some time, you will find that you are evolving in a remarkable way. Okay, but that's good since you are asking about how to experience your speaking and writing. That's the thing. For speaking, it's the same thing. It's good to choose choose a partner, a classmate, for example, your friend, and then you can decide to use English. And it's not just to use English, but to stop each other and add a very important learning. And if you don't want to interrupt because you want the flow to continue, that's fine. But when he or she finishes a sentence or an adjacency pair, or when he answers or she answers your question, stop him or her and say, "Wait a minute, هل قلت?" You say this and you say this. You pronounce this way. Is that the way you run? No, it's not. So let's check. Sometimes you can even check dictionary. You open dictionary and check. That's how learning takes place. That's the only way you can do that. And we need to be happy that it's not bought with money, for example. No, it's through practice. Both writing and speaking involve a lot of practice. And they involve feedback, though the type of feedback, the nature of feedback may differ as we move from writing to speaking. Okay, but there are people who say, well, the more you read, the better writer. Yeah, that's true. That's true, but to some extent, you see, uh, if you combine reading and having a vocabulary list, list of social structures, but this cannot take place without applying them, in written tasks. That written task can be just your own invention. You can invent tasks, and you can either ask your professor or you ask someone else to read for you or your friend, and you exchange, and learning will be, so you have this win-win situation. All right. Thank you. That's a very good question. Light FF. Thank you. Some people work on ICT, Mustafa says, just to get a doctorate easily and be called doctors. It's a pity anyway. But ICT in itself is not the problem. The problem is how you cope with issues there, and that's the thing. Okay. And same thing with AI. So what applies to ICT will certainly apply to AI. And the problem is that if you ask them about anything relating to linguistics, they will retort that they are not specialized in linguistics, but in applied linguistics. See? Voila, that's the thing. I'm not criticizing for the sake of criticism, but no. It's just the way. There are some topics. Attitudes there. Why am I going to, start, digging into an issue that has already been, it's settled. That's all. Of course, people with negative attitudes towards ICT may not be willing to apply it in their teaching. That's fine. Okay, thank you, Mustafa. Okay, Kingdom of Animals, greetings, Mr. Kingdom of Animals. Thank you for joining. Nuhaila El Gate, Salam alaikum. Will you explain expert theory in this session? Nuhaila El Gate, please tell your friends, Nuhaila, if you are among them, of course, that initially, and I have posted that with a thumbnail, and the thumbnail for this live session is, it says, you see, recapitulating X-bar theory with the focus on the noun phrase. I have even prepared this and this to explain X-bar theory to that group of students who asked me to come to teach them, or to not to teach them, but to help them explain this. Except that 15 minutes passed since the live started. I was asking people who are here for syntax to type one or to write something. Nobody did that. I think you are the third or the fourth here, and I have 26 people watching me. I cannot start teaching X bar theory and the noun phrase to the people who in the doctorate. Most of them are here are doctorate students and they are master students. So it's not really, I will be very embarrassed. So if there is this need for you to listen or to have a session with me where I can talk to you about X bar theory, على راسي وعيني ما عندي حتى شي مشكل. But the condition is that you have to be present in a fairly good number, not two or three or four people. Not two or three or four. That's I'm sorry. شوف نقولها لك اسمح لي ماشي ليك انت ولكن راه سي امبولي when you expect me to talk about something that you have requested as a group with the presence of two or three people. No, that's not the case. I'm sorry. So please, tomorrow I will go live, and if I find out that people are the ones who are concerned have not shown up in a good enough number. Good enough يعني إلى عندي 15 أنا ما عنديش مشكل. راه واخا يكونوا 500 انا راه سا ما افكت با، انا راه ما كندخلش فلوس بهذا الشيء غير باش نقول لكم. ولكن راه عيب عليا انا نجي عندي السي مصطفى مرشد، عندي المهم خلينا من الاسماء، ما عندي الناس هنا في الدكتوراه، كاين اللي اساتذه جامعيون هنا، كاين دكاتره. واش انا غادي نجي هما مقابليني كنهضر على اكسبار؟ نو. خص على الاقل شي واحد اللي غيستافد من داك الشيء، ماشي نبقاو غير حنايا. راه ماشي عندنا لونفي باش، راه ماشي اليوتيوب في حد ذاته، اليوتيوب في حد ذاته لا، هو النشر ديال هذه الافكار والمساعده ديال الناس هي اللي كتهم في هذا الشيء كلشي. I'm really sorry to tell you this, but please let your friends know that this is how we should do this, and this is a message to every friend here who ask me as a group, for example, you come as a group. صافي that's all. Group of 15 عباد. I'm not asking ماشي كيستيون ديال النمبر، هي كيستيون ديالي انا نهضر مع الناس اللي كيتصنتوا ليا، ماشي نهضر مع جوج ولا ثلاثه والاخرين غير هكا، غير حيت كيحترموني، غير انا عزيز عليهم كيجيو يحضروا اللايفات ديالنا. نو، هذوك ضيوف شرف نقدروا نقولوا الناس اللي كتساعد في هذا اللايف. هنا بزاف ديال المرات الناس كيجيو، كاين الاخوان اللي كيجاوبوا بلاصتي which is nice. مشكورين. ثانك يو. اوكي نهيله، ثانك يو فيري ماتش نهيله. اوكي Mustafa, yes, they work on the pedagogical side of AI and the technical side. Yes, okay, yeah. So, Mustafa, I think you reacted to something I said before. I teach back students like FF says, whenever I give them a writing exam, the majority of students submit AI gen. Wait. It's, yeah. It's misuse. It's an abuse, an overuse, and a misuse of AI. That's true, and it's a pity. It's a pity because instead of having AI being exploited the right way, people are making very bad use of it, and the outcome is really catastrophic. Yes. Amar says, hello, Professor. I'm writing to inquire if you have any information or experience with the Remark office. If you have any insight. No, not a single idea, Mr. Amar. I'm really sorry, not a single idea. If one of our friends has an answer to this, then you can answer him. I don't know what this has to do, so absolve me of this, please. Si Mohammed, Si Mustafa, I have read some titles somewhere meant for PhD. Anyway. Okay, flying cars, coronavirus. Yeah, all right. Si Mohammed. Yeah, there are some weird titles that show up from time to time. Okay, maybe we should have research. Yeah, that's yeah, and maybe ways of preventing this. Techniques, for example. Is it possible, concerning the ICT, Mr. Mustafa, we are uncertain. It is possible that someone will identify a research gap concerning ICT. Yeah, if there is a question, an issue worth investigating, then why not? But probably to repeat, something that was discussed 10 years ago and to reproduce the same research question, that may not be good, a good title. See, Ashraf says, thank you for answering. Your right questions wasn't specific enough. Try to elicit some AI-based strategies that teachers. Yes. Yeah, I myself need to find out, see, Ashraf, honestly. and we probably need some training sessions in that regard. Yeah, thank you. But that's a question that is worth asking, of course. سي عبد العالي اهلا اهلا اهلا. Mr. عبد العالي الفقير, how are you? Yeah, العلم يؤتى إليه ولا يأتي. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay. لا هما زعما كاين اللي يبغي حتى يشوف الفيديو على خاطره ويفيق في الصباح وهذا, وانا مع من نهضر دابا. I need to talk to them, because they should. Chances are that they may not understand something I write here, and they will ask. Okay, never mind. So we have Ahlam. Could you explain to us syntax lessons? Ahlam, yes, I can, but with the condition that enough students, the ones who ask for this, they need to be present here in the live. So tomorrow I am considering coming live to initiate this. إلا ما جاوش again, then of course I will just cancel because there are other things we can deal with here. Faiza says yes. Thank you, Faiza. Thank you. Yes. Karima Al-Fdil, hello. Please, may you explain phonological rules to us? Yeah, maybe in another live session. شوف شكون كريمة الفضيل عافاك كريمة الفضيل صيفطي لي ان ميساج your academic companion Dr. Amrus on Facebook, and if there are enough groups, enough students to listen to me and to interact. علاش كنقول enough students? Because this is interactive. I can read a comment, I can read, could you please repeat this? Could you please give an example? Something like this. So yes, Karima, if you think there are enough of your classmates who would like a session on phonological rules, I would be very glad to hold it under the condition I have just mentioned. We have no problem to join syntax or phonology. شوف السي مصطفى, هذا تواضع منك باسكو انت تبارك الله عليك, you are انت in a couple of weeks or so you will become a doctor. You see, انت كتجي لانك بغيتي تسمع لينا, ربما بغيتي كتحترمنا بيان سور, وكتلقى مع الناس هنايا اليوم بحالك, ناس ظريفين وناس مزيانين, ناس محبين المعلومه. اوكي, that's interesting. غير هو the people who are immediately concerned have to be here with us as well. ديك الساعه انت تقدر تعاوني كاع في انت ولا الاخوان الاخرين. I may have missed something, I may miss something, I miss you can correct something I may say wrongly, etc. Okay, so Ahlam, we are enough. I asked you at the beginning to write something to prove that you are here. I got nothing, I'm sorry. So what we can do is tomorrow, because دابا اليوم راه فات سميتو, انا نيت غادي نتصبر شويه نسد. الله يجازيكم بخير. غدا الا بغيتو, if you are keen on this, if you are really serious about it, join in enough numbers. وفاش نقول لكم كتبوا شي حاجه, كتبوا لي غير واحد ولا جوج, غير باش نعرف. You are not going to pay for typing. It's not. It's just typing. So I asked you to type. Nobody typed anything apart from Mustafa وناتالي, وهادو راه علماء, هادو راه هما السينتاكس راه فاتوني انا في السينتاكس هادو كاع. You see, so I'm not sorry. حتى انا عندي الوقت ديالي, حتى انا راه عندي ما يدار. I'm sorry to say this, but to ask for a session while you don't attend, or only 2 people you see attend, no, I cannot do that. You see, it's a pity that راه شي واحد الاستاذه كنحييها من هذا المنبر, ما عرفوش نقول سميتها, ولكن حتى هي كانت دارت اون شين مسكينه, و she was doing very well. The one she was doing very well. People did not want to join for free, and شي حد اخر دار القناه, ولكن دارها بالفلوس. يعني اللي بغى يتعلم خصو يخلص. وكاع مشاو لهذوك اللي كيخلصوا, وقالت لك راه حنا كنبغيو غير شي حاجه اللي فيها الخلاص, حاجه ديال الفابور, زعما وي تيك ات فور جرانتد جاست لايك ذات. هذا هو البروبليم, هو المالور ديالنا حنايا, هو هذا. اوكي, I will post another, I will make a post, an announcement tomorrow, and then you will see that on your academic companion, Dr. Amrus, on Facebook. Okay, so I will cancel today's announcement. I will replace it tomorrow, hoping that this will change. I recommend you concentrate more on issues related to applied linguistics research study, a point of view. بارك الله فيك. لا 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 c'est vrai, c'est vrai. Yeah, c'est vrai. Thank you, Sir Ali. That's what I will do. And I have even promises for maybe live sessions on for those students who are maybe who intend to apply maybe for a teaching position at high school. يدوزوا الكونكور ديال التعليم. You know, I can help in this regard. I hope I can just give guidelines. It will be good. So thank you, Sir Ali, for confirming this way of doing it. Okay. Zineb Dodi, I do agree with you, sir. We need to confirm our attendance. Thank you. Thank you for confirming. Look, everyone is confirming here. Thank you. Rabia, only Allah. Thank you, Sir Rabia. Thank you. Only Allah can reward you. Barakallahu fik. Thank you. Of course, Hanan says, dear professor, thank you very much. You will be there on time. Very good. Hopefully so. سعيد رفيع بارك الله فيك الله يجزيك بخير سي سعيد سي مصطفى yeah, I learned about this Mustafa, but it was good that it was successful. Very interesting. That's a very good addition to your CV. It's really nice. It's really nice. Okay. So did Natalie attend? You should brief us on that. Okay. Yeah, well, alhamdulillah. That's interesting. It's good to see these people, you know, who are brilliant and who start taking research responsibilities. It's really nice. It's good. Okay. Yeah, it was interesting. So that's very nice. It's good to hear that Natalie attended that. Yeah, well, alhamdulillah. That's interesting. Yeah, والله يعاونكم. الله يعاونكم. That's good to see. It's good to hear. All right. Okay, my friends, I don't think so. It's already 11 and a half, and سنضرب لكم موعدا إن شاء الله غدا with a course on syntax to help the students who are in need of that. The condition applies. You know that. We don't need to talk about, yeah. Let's overcome that so that we can be talking. Inshallah, سي عثمان. You see, it's just a matter of time. اللي شوف اللي motivé, c'est une question de temps. Becoming nobody is born a doctorate student or a doctorate holder or a professor or whatever. We all went through that way. The difference between you and me is age, perhaps. You see? So just do the things what the two are doing seriously, and make sure that that you will reach your destination in a nice way. Barakallahu fik, si Mustafa. Thank you so much. Allah yahfadkum. Anyway, my dear friends, I wish you all the best. Despite the fact that I did not do what I was supposed to do in this live session, meeting you and talking to you has been of has been great. It's been a pleasure, honestly. So see you tomorrow, inshallah. Thank you very much. Bye bye.